into our brains. So we put it into our mind that we can remember a guy that we met who's, okay, Tony Katowski. I think about Tony, which means cool, and a cat toting a ski. I can remember Tony Katowski. So if we put it in an easily recognizable form, we can pull it out. So the general purpose of today's speech is to let you know that there's all these different methods to increase your brain power. And the specific purpose of today's speech is to learn how to remember people's names and numbers. You know, what's the deal about a name, right? Okay, as soon as I meet someone, I forget their name. So who cares? They're probably forgetting my name too. But it's unfair because my name's John Johnson. Everybody can remember John Johnson. It's not really hard, and then I can't remember their name. So why is it important to remember a name? Well, Principle 3 in Dale Carnegie's world-renowned book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he says that remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Has anyone ever come up to you and said, hey, I can't remember your face, but I can remember your name? No, we can remember faces, we just can't remember names. So, you know, you meet someone who's maybe their name is Painter or Coin or not. Well, that's easy. You can immediately say, oh yeah, I see a picture. But typically, the names are like a foreign language to me. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what your name was. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to use a word substitution method, right? Let's say it's a really, really hard name, like Irina Alexandrova. Oh my gosh, what is that? Well, luckily for me, as soon as I met Irina, I was like, oh, Irina. Oh yeah, my babysitter, when my daughter was little, was Irina, who was the daughter of the people that own Everybody's Pizza across from Emory University. So I saw Irina in Everybody's Pizza with a hat on, and instead of putting the pepperoni, she's putting the tennis balls on the pizza. But let's say you don't know an Irina. So now we have to make a word association. Well, you know what? We learned in her icebreaker speech that she teaches tennis. And so what you want to do is you want to attach their name to their face. And you see Irina, she looks like she's in great shape. You remember, oh yeah, she's a tennis player. So, you see a tennis arena. But what about Alexandrova? Well, has anybody ever seen Irina in a dress? No, she's usually wearing pants. What's the number? Slacks. So, there we go. We got Alex, but Sandrova, one is, okay, wait a minute, Range Rover. So we see a pink Range Rover going through the sand. It's not a Range Rover, it's a Sand Rover. So there we do, we have it. We have Irina Alexandrova. Let's say you meet someone and their name is hard to really add anything to.
Hello, my name is Alethea Jones, and Alethea is a Greek word meaning truth.
So what you want to do there is you want to say, hey, what's your name mean? Is that from, you know, your relatives? Something to attach when you're talking to that person. So now when we see Alethea Jones, we're going to see her wearing a Greek helmet. But it's not a Greek helmet, it's a truth helmet. So she can always tell the truth, and we remember Alethea means truth. Or what you can do is, you can say, okay, well, I can't remember people's names from last week, but with the kids I grew up with, I remember all their names. So whenever I meet a Wade, well, there's Wade Johnston right next to me. There's Wade Johnston, okay. Well, whenever I meet a Wade, it's Wade Johnson. Whenever I meet an Andy, it's Andy Ireland. Remembering names, as I've shown, there is an easy method. Y'all, it is hard work. You need to go back each week and study the people that you've met. This is a memory book that I've used for years, and it slides around in the back of my car, and every week I'll go through the names of the people that I've met, because you've got to burn it in. We're going to remember Irina Alexandrova, but you've got to review, oh yeah, Irina Alexandrova. The internet is also a great method. You can look up on LinkedIn people's names and their faces. Your iPhone, you're walking down, you don't need a book anymore. You just walk down, this is my gym entry. I just met Craig, okay? Craigie Face. So I'm walking down, Craigie Face. Okay, now I know that guy. But what about numbers? Okay, numbers are hard unless you're Ellery, who was the head guy for commodities for Dean Witter down in Texas. It's probably easy for him. But for us, let's say you're leaving your room. Okay, you look at your key. Okay, your key doesn't have a room number on it. That way no one can steal it from you and go into your room. Room 422. Well, in the handout, you can see that 4 is car, 4 tires on a car, 4 door, 4 on the floor. That's easy to remember. Light switch is on, off, up, down, daylight. 2 is associated with light switch. So I see myself getting in this fancy car, and instead of an ignition, I turn on the light switch to turn it on, and I turn on the light switch to turn on the lights. 422. You've just cracked the surface of your mastermind. If you can remember a Tony Mesquite, you can remember Katowski. But if you take these memory techniques and add them to the PEG, the link, there's also a phonetic system to remember numbers, so you can see your significant other singing their anniversary date. Then you are going to be really impressive to people, and with your speaking skills, then there's piles of money right around the corner with your name on it. Adam Toastmaster.